Hello everybody and welcome to the Besides the Norm podcast. My name is Scuba. We're here with Monk yet again. How are you doing today, Monk?
I am absolutely happy.
Great. Fucking fantastic. What a great start there. So we have a guest on the line. We're going to talk to Julie in just a few seconds. The Rotary Club is a thing I've heard about locally for like quite a long time. But it's a thing I've never really known much about. Have you heard the...
No, really not.
Nah.
I know what it is now, but I'd heard about it for years and just...
So it's always been a thing that's been in the background, and I've heard like different groups and stuff like that, so it'll be good to... We'll bring Julie in right now. How are you doing, Julie?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. So I think I said Julie Brownlie we have on the line. Could you explain or give a wee introduction to yourself, Julie?
Yes. So I'm Julie Brownlie and I have been in Leven Rotary Club since 2007. And I really enjoy all aspects of Rotary, and I am a former past president and current treasurer.
Right. So I don't know if there's like a lot of people like locally that have heard of the Rotary Club. I'm going to assume like a lot of people like have it in the back of their heads. But could you explain what actually the Rotary Club is and what it does?
Well, the Rotary Club is not what I expected it to be. When I came along all these years ago to Rotary, I came because a friend asked me, and I kind of came along as a courtesy to them. But I didn't really anticipate that it was something that I would be interested in or I would want to join. However, when I came along, it was actually to a youth evening where they were giving out lots of awards, and there was lots of energy in the room about all of the projects that they did for the youth in the area, projects that I'd never heard of. And having come from the area, I was so surprised that I hadn't known more about it. But that was me hooked, and I've just loved it so much that I came along every week, and I've been coming along ever since. But what we actually do within the Rotary Club of Leven, like many other Rotary clubs, is that we have a network of people, and they're not all business people. We have a multitude of people. We have people who are retired. We have slightly younger people, but we have people that have different skills that they can bring to the Rotary Club, and with all the different skills, we can put different projects together. So we do lots of projects, and when I say so, we usually do, not necessarily in these times, but we usually do lots of projects with youth. So we do lots with League Mouth Academy, and we do a young chef competition, we do young photographer, young writer, and we also help with mock interviews for the schools. So we go up and we help the kids to put together their CVs, we give them tips and information, and then we go through an interview process with them.
Right.
In addition to that, we also support lots of local other groups who support the community. So, for instance, last year, at the start of the pandemic, we gave £3,000 to the League Mouth Food Bank and another £1,800 to the People's Pantry, as well as other organisations that received monetary contributions at the time, so that we were able to help in the best way that we could. We also, at the beginning of the pandemic, started delivering meals to those in need. And those in need weren't always who you would expect. It was people who might have a need because of unemployment, or might have a need because of social distancing or isolation. And so to date, we have given out over 4,500 meals, and we're still continuing with that project just now. So twice a week, we deliver a meal out to these people who are in need.
Right.
We also, sorry.
On you go, sorry. I was about to jump in, but on you go.
And we also support lots of local things that go on. So we support local markets and galas and sets and all that kind of thing on a normal year as well. So yeah, we definitely do quite a lot in the local area.
Mm-hmm. There's one thing I remember that I was part of during the Rotary Club, and it was the primary school quiz. This was a hell of a long time ago, unfortunately. I think would have been 98. Like, is it primary sevens you do the quiz with?
That's right. So
Aye.
every year we have a primary 7 school quiz, and all the local schools come together. And it was actually our club in Leven that started that, and it's now at least district, if not UK-wide.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're very proud of the fact that our club initiated that and started it as a project. So it's still very, very popular, and it's just unfortunate that this year it may not be able to go ahead.
Yeah.
So what is that? Is that each school has a quiz, and the best quiz beats other schools? Is it a school vs school thing?
No, we all get together. So we all get together, usually at Levenmouth Academy, and all of the teams, all of the schools put in a team. So they have 4 people and a reserve, and so they all go in, and then there's a PowerPoint presentation of questions and a question master, and they go through and do the questions, and then we get the results by the end. So pretty exciting stuff. Kids are all very knowledgeable, and sometimes the scores are very, very close until the last second. So it's very, very good that we can do that. So, and last year we had a bit of a Rotary Club of Leven does TikTok in the middle of it, so we had everybody up dancing in the middle of it just to get the kids to relax a bit. So that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I'm confused about why you remember this, but I don't, because I was at primary school.
You weren't picked for the quiz team, Craig. You weren't picked for the quiz team, son.
Yeah, I was not smart back then.
Yes.
You were one of the smart kids.
Wait. There's a story
there's
behind
a substitute.
There's Mr. McMaster, the teacher that I had, used to do like a general knowledge quiz quite a lot.
Yes, he did.
During his classes and stuff like that. So he would like maybe like as a reward for like doing your handwriting test and all that kind of stuff. He'd be like, right, we'll either like do a song on the guitar, we could do some
generally a Friday afternoon.
So sometimes he would stop and we'll do like a general knowledge quiz. And it turned out that I knew a lot of general knowledge. Just nonsense stuff that would never help me in future life. But so that's how I got picked for that. I used to be amazing at it.
Yeah, that's why I was never there, because I tried to be logical about it, and general knowledge and logic doesn't work the same way.
I was the same. I never got picked for it either.
Right, I'm in good company then. You're the outlier here, Stephen.
Well, just a massive brain.
Yeah, we're too logical and smart for the general knowledge quiz.
Oh well, screw you, Craig. I will say. So that's my knowledge, my extremely limited knowledge of the Rotary Club. So I assumed.
But it's cool that was started in Leven, though.
Definitely, aye. But it's a worldwide thing as well. But the quiz thing at least started in Leven, which is pretty cool.
So what is the distance that you deliver food in? Like, what is the area?
We cover the whole of the Levenmouth area, so that includes Largo and that area, and right out to Buckhaven, Kennoway, Windigate. So we cover all of the main Levenmouth area.
So you're not stuck with like council-based areas. You're not like Methil, but there's no like a Rotary Club Buckhaven and Methil and stuff like that.
There is a Rotary Club in Buckhaven and Methil, but we tend to do some different projects, so we don't overlap too often.
Right.
But no, there is a Rotary Club in that area, but we're able to both have different things going on. So there's so much things that need done and so much help that can be given that there's always enough room for clubs.
Mm-hmm. I would have thought it would have been completely like a lot more use to just have the sort of Rotary Club of Leven, because it's still Levenmouth, Buckhaven and Methil and stuff like that. But
yeah, as I say, we do completely different things. The other Rotary Club have a kids clothing bank, and they cover the whole of Levenmouth for that area. So we can still do our individual projects, but cover the whole of the area, which works for you.
Right. So what's it you do, Julie, behind the scenes and stuff like that? Because obviously you handled the emails there. So what's it you do?
So my job is I'm an HR consultant. So I have my own company doing HR for other small businesses, which is why I have the job of answering the emails, because I'm sat in front of the computer most of the day.
Right.
But for Rotary, I'm the treasurer, so I do that. I also do public image, so I share things online and put as much out there as I can about Rotary. We had a Santa sleigh just before Christmas, which was very well received. We did 6 nights in the Leavenworth area, and that was amazing. And the feedback that we got from the public on it was just overwhelming. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. I didn't. Oh, sorry, I actually forgot the the Christmas thing, the Santa Claus thing.
Yeah. Fantastic.
That was great. The Santa sleigh ride thing that he's done.
Yep.
That was brilliant. So that was also organised by the Rotary Club of Leven as well, which is awesome.
That was an older thing that was brought back, wasn't it? Was it no? Did you not stop that for a few years?
No, we've never actually had a Santa sleigh ever before. So that's the Kennedy Shed. They actually built the sleigh for us.
Yeah.
So it was all thanks to them that the sleigh was built, and then we got it all decorated, and it was an amazing success. We toured it around. I roped my husband in. Rotary is very much a family thing.
Right,
so
okay.
If one member of the family is in Rotary, everybody else gets jobs to do at some point. So my husband has RWB Autotech in Metal and managed to tow the sleigh down for us every night for 6 nights. So, and he enjoyed it. Seeing the kids' faces lit up when they seen Santa coming made it so worth it. It was an amazing experience.
Well, I mean, I'm 27, and
I was just about to say,
you would have seen my face light up as well, because where we are, we're in a cul-de-sac, and the Santa never actually came in our street. It went sort of past, so we ended up like actively driving to another part at Kennedy in order to see Santa. And I have to say, at 27 years old, I was still very, very happy.
And I bet you still waved as well, because it's like in your nature, everybody has to wave to Santa. Young and old were all waving, and we went into Peacehaven Nursing Home in London Links and did a drive-by through their car park, and all the residents were at the window waving. So, yeah, it was very much received well with young and old people alike.
It's awesome.
It interests me to see the change that everybody's had to sort of endure. I mean, at the beginning of 2020, I would imagine the Rotary Club had a lot of activities planned that couldn't happen, but instead had to very, very quickly shift into sort of pandemic mode, and you've just been just as busy with handing out meals and stuff like that.
Yes, we definitely did. We had to very quickly switch over. We couldn't meet in person, which was a big thing. Mm-hmm. And when we shifted to meeting online, that was a big deal for a lot of people, because they didn't have the technology or the skills. But I have to say, they've all adapted wonderfully, and it really has made such a difference. And now we meet online each week, and we have a great time, and we have such a laugh doing it, as well as helping organising the project to help the local community.
Mm-hmm. So, like as far as funding and stuff like that, do you guys have to sort of like do some outreach for like different types of funding to be able to fund other places, or are you guys like self-funded, or like how does that work?
We raise most of the money ourselves locally, so we do lots of different projects, which has obviously been a lot harder over the last year, but Definitely. We usually do bag packing in Sainsbury's at Christmas time. Mm. We go to fetes and galas and raise money in that respect. And we also do lots of different things. So we have a burn supper usually in January that allows us to raise some funds at that. But obviously none of that's been able to go ahead. But again, like the support that we've given the community, we had to adapt to fundraising. And so we had an auction in the summertime that we auctioned off a hot tub, and we were able to raise a good sum of money from that. And then we did an auction in November to see Christmas, and that had a whole load of great prizes in it. And again, that was really popular. And we're just about to go ahead with another fundraising event, which is done online, called Wine Man's Bluff. And in Wine Man's Bluff, everybody will get a tester kit with some wine. and then they'll go online to a Zoom call and people will describe it, and you have to guess which one is telling the truth with their description. One person will be lying, one person will be telling the truth, and you need to decide which it is. So just we've had to adapt the fundraising to what we can do right now.
Mm-hmm. Have you found that during the pandemic, at least in the first half of the pandemic, I think everybody's suffering from a lockdown fever, I think they're calling it. I don't know what they're calling it, but it's when everybody's starting to get fed up with it. But at the beginning, did you notice that there was more interest in things like the Rotary Club, people trying to sort of pull together more?
I think that we have a bunch of committed people anyway. So we have people that come along very regular, and there is no attendance shows within Rotary, so we don't have to come along every week. If you have something else on, it's not mandatory to come along. But we have certainly a core group of people that really just love to be there, and we have other people that dip in and out of different projects as the notion takes them, or as they feel their skill is suited to that project. And that's one of the really good things about our Rotary Club, is that we do have so many different people with different talents, different backgrounds, different skills, that we can always find somebody to call on that can get the job done. Mm-hmm. So no, I think we've been pretty strong so far in what we've done, and certainly the Santa sleigh was a massive hit. And so yeah, we're just really looking now to see what we've done next.
You know, one of the things that originally, like years ago, I'd thought as well was, like, I assumed that, maybe stupidly, definitely stupidly, that the Rotary Club was like very similar to the Freemasons. Like there was like wee secret handshakes and stuff like that. I assumed that was that kind of group. Did that run through your head? Because I know you had thought the group was different to what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I thought it was. I really thought that it wasn't for me, and that it was really a men's club, and I expected it to be old men who were smoking their pipes and drinking brandy.
Yep.
But it's nothing like that.
Right.
We have a great laugh. We have lots of like-minded people, and we also have lots of fun and fellowship nights for ourselves. So for normal, so last February we had like a gin night, and we had a karaoke and things just for our members. And they're great nights, so we like to have a laugh and a drink the same as everybody else does. So no secret handshakes, and women are very much welcome. Our next president next year is a woman again, Maura Dawson. And so yeah, we are very much open to both men and women, and there's no age restriction either. I was only 26 when I joined today, so it really is for everybody.
I wonder why there's these thoughts about the Rotary Club.
It's just you see club and you assume, like most clubs, like there's like is the Legion? The Legion's slightly different. But
the Legion's
but you have like gentlemen's clubs as well, which are like strictly just like men only and stuff like that. So I assumed the Rotary Club was like that, and again, Julie, I assumed that at the beginning as well.
I mean, because I had an assumption, but it wasn't to that degree. I never thought it was
secret handshake, Freemason.
Yeah, I never thought it was. I just assumed that it was just a business. But actually, to be fair, I thought it was businessmen. I never thought about women being there, so I did think it was a men's club. But I just thought it was businessmen saying, "Oh, we have all this money. We could totally help the poor." Like that's what I thought it was. But it didn't seem.
In all fairness, there was a point where it was men only. So
right.
there definitely was a point that it was men only. So it's only really in the last 20 years that women have been allowed into Rotary. So it was, prior to that, it was a men's only club. And also, I think there was that bit about sort of stature that people had to have a business or be a senior manager to go along. It's certainly not like that now. And again, there used to be attendance rules where you had to, if you didn't attend for 50 weeks of the year, you had to make up your attendance. But we don't have anything like that now. You can, as I say, you can dip in and out. We have quick business meetings in the morning, usually for breakfast, and you can come along, and if you're there for 20 minutes and you have to go to work, then you're there for 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. So we really take people on their skills and strengths rather than their attendance, because just because you're there doesn't necessarily mean that you're participating.
I love the idea that groups like that are coming round to the idea of like inclusivity. It's great because like even
they're decentralised as well.
Well, that's even the Freemasons and stuff are now letting women in for like public meetings and stuff like that, which they've never done before. They've started letting women in for public meetings and stuff like that. And even the men's shed, for instance, that started off as a reason.
That was about. We were at the. Sorry, I just drank coffee. We were at the initial meeting of the men's shed, and as soon as I said it, as soon as I seen it as a headline in the paper that Bob got, I saw men's shed. Oh no, that's going to be an issue, and that was one of the first things that was brought up. It was like, let's not call it men's shed because half the people there were women.
Oh.
Let's call it a community shed, but it's part of the men's shed network, and so that was one of the first things that got taken out. And I assumed, with it being older people, that they would be more willing to just accept the fact there's a men's shed. So for me to see older people saying, no, there's women here as well, let's make it community based, let's not make it exclusive.
No, the child's right. The child over there that said that is correct.
Yeah,
it's great.
So it is good to see that.
Yeah, I think it makes a difference in having the mix, because we do have different thoughts and different ideas, and that's one of the really good things about our club, is that there is just so many different ideas from different people from different walks of life that it just makes it work.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well,
what have you got any? Obviously, we're in a sort of a limbo state where we're not entirely sure what's going to be happening in a few months.
Aye.
But even with that, do you have plans for, if this happens, we can maybe do this? Or are you sort of going on the basis of we probably won't be opening up anytime soon, so let's just go with these ideas that we had last year? Does that make sense?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
We don't have any great plans at this stage. We do have a cycle plan, so we know that obviously keeping fit is a very important part in people's lives, and especially when they're in lockdown. So we do have a cycle plan for the summertime, and we're also producing a book that will give walking routes in the areas, and it will not just be walking routes for those that like to go on really long walks. There will be a whole bunch of different walking routes for all different skill levels, all different ages, and all different lengths, all in the local area. So we have Rotarians right now that are out walking, trying and testing them to see how they get on. So we're going to be producing that in the near future, and we'll get that out to the local community. It will be something that's a small token donation to purchase it. And as I say, we've got a Wine Man's Bluff in February. And apart from that, we're really just taking it as it comes, because we really don't know much beyond that. Most of the projects that we have with children have been already cancelled for this part of the Rotary year. So that's like up until June. We do have one thing that's going ahead, which is the Rotary Young Leaders. So that is a residential camp up at Abernethy, and so far that is still in the plan to go ahead. And so we're looking for kids that are under, or young adults that are under 18 years of age. So they have to be 16 to 17, and they go away to the Young Leaders Camp, and they get lots of skill and lots of team building. So it's a really, really good thing for the kids to go through, and it gives them lots of confidence. They have to help the group, they have to take part, and they have to lead the group at the right times. So it's a really, really good thing. So we are actively looking for 16 and 17-year-olds to volunteer themselves to come along. They can be, if anybody knows anybody who would fit that category, then they can let us know. There will be an interview process, because we do only have 2 spaces. It's a very expensive residential camp. So we do only have 2 spaces, but we're hoping to still have that going on. So that's really the only thing that's youth-led that we have in the foreseeable future.
When is that planned for? Is that like summertime?
Yes, it's summertime. So the camp happens in July. So there's a boys' camp and there's a girls' camp. And it's always been really, really well received by everybody who's been. They said that it really makes such a difference to their confidence levels, to be away from home, some of them for the first time, and for a week. So they get transport up, they spend all week, and the Rotary Club pays for all of the expenses for that.
Awesome.
I mean, we're hoping by that time there'll be a lot more vaccines handed out, so there's going to be a lot less suffering at that point from the pandemic. So hopefully that'll go ahead and it'll be fine.
Sounds great. They kind of weekends away.
Never
The weekends are great things. Like I'd done a few with Youth First and stuff like that before, years ago. So interesting weekends away.
Do build your confidence, don't they?
Definitely, aye. There you go. Well, thank you for joining us. It was much appreciated.
You're welcome.
No problem.
Thank you for asking us along. And if anybody wants to come along, you can actually join in with any of our Zoom calls by just coming on our Facebook page, contacting us through email, and anybody's welcome to come along. Even if you have no intentions of joining, you can really just come along and see what it's all about. There's no secret.
There you go.
That's what they want you to think. They've got the Illuminati on strings and what. I don't know what I'm talking about anyway.
Stupidity. Anyway, ignore all that he just said there. So yeah, again, thank you, Julie, for joining us. It's much appreciated.